What's up, everyone?
What's up?
How you doing, Byron?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm all right. It's Mother's
Cool,
Day.
cool. Yes, it
So
is. Happy Mother's Day.
thank you. And happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. Byron, your mom, all the guys' moms, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. And to all the dad moms, too. I'm not
Yep.
leaving you guys out.
Don't forget the
Mhm.
Heavenly Mothers. Happy Mother's Day as well. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I appreciate you making the time to join me on Mother's Day. What with better band than God forbid? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
My mom would be like, "What's the matter, you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. She's old school time. Yeah, it is what it
No,
is.
got to keep the old school in the house, though.
Absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. That I don't know. Is that old school anymore? Like we're old school. Is that considered old school once you're in your 70s?
I mean,
That's
that
just
would
like
be
OG
super
stuff,
old school. Yeah, yeah. Double OG, old school.
right? Exactly. It's the
Yeah.
double OG. That makes
Yeah.
sense. I like that. So, dude, I want to thank you again making time on Sunday. You know, it's
No
beautiful over
problem.
here. I don't know how it is by you, but it's gorgeous outside. And of course, we're spending it here, and I'm okay with that. And I am on location for anyone who asks me later. Yes, I'm on location. So I had to make do. So, as usual, my head is blocking shit, though.
Yeah.
Byron, would you like to introduce yourself for anyone who might pop in? The younger generation maybe don't know who you are.
Okay. Well, my name is Byron. I'm from a band called God Forbid. Originally from New Jersey. Now I live in Texas. We're the old school new wave of American metal, thrash metal. That's what they dubbed us back in the day.
Yeah.
Put out 5 or 6 records. We started back in '96 before most of you guys might have been born. So, we're definitely one of the flag bearers for the new sound of underground, or were at one point until the new sound of underground right now. So yeah.
Is the new sound? I mean, it was new then. I don't know if it's. I mean, it's still considered new, but it's like, well, they've been around. Everyone's been around a minute.
Yeah, but I think like the newer bands have gotten a little bit more extreme. Well, put it this way: the more extremity has become more normalized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all got. There's a lot more people with anger issues, and they're letting it out.
Yeah, I mean, you got the world we live in. It's understandable.
I mean, yeah, seriously, especially with today's fucking society, it's all jacked.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So we have a few people who are missing who may or may not pop in, depending if the schedule and connections work out. Just in case, would you like to give some shout outs to some of the boys?
I'd like to give a shout out to Beat Dog, #1 bass player in the world. C Money beating it down. You know what I'm saying? Give a shout out to DOC. I think he's just at Rockville not too long ago. And then our homeboy Nick for making it all possible and, allowing us to revisit the God Forbid catalog. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and definitely give a shout out to Dallas, wherever he might be right now. Hopefully, he's doing well and taking care of his business like we all are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I can't see shit. Hold on a minute. I don't know if you saw, but I kind of did a double take. I need a flashlight because it's kind of dark where I'm at, and I dropped my flashlight while you were talking.
Yeah, it's all good.
I got my shit. So, all right. Everyone knows I'm old school. You do too. I write my shit down, so I'm gonna be flashlighting it so I can see better.
Okay.
All right, so I'll just jump right into it. I mean, okay, it's been 20 years since you guys first played.
Yeah.
With Machine Head, not Mushroom Head. Machine Head.
Yeah, I mean, we did.
It flies, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was a changing point that year. We actually did Ozfest, and we went to Japan with Chimera and In Flames, and then we went over to Europe with Machine Head for 10 years. But previous to playing with Machine Head, we went like a little bit earlier. Before that, like a year prior, maybe, when they first came out with what the hell is the name of that album? Damn, man, I can't think of it right now. But yeah, they we did an initial tour with them when we played New England Metal Fest, and then they liked us and we became friends, and that's how we ended up getting invited to Europe. So yeah, it's been a long time. Been a long time.
Awesome. Like, dude, time flies. I remember when you guys first came out. It was just like, what the fuck, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe that 20 years has come and gone already. You know what I mean? I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the next 20.
So are we.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying. Seeing your faces pop up here and there was a nice little boost for everyone going.
Well, I mean, we enjoyed it. We had a great time. You know, it was really weird getting back in the saddle after so long, but you know, I think we're just warming up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How did it feel to get back on the stage after almost a 10-year hiatus? I mean, when you guys, I mean, obviously you guys started practicing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was scary. Stage. It was kind of scary, just because it was raining, and the stage was getting wet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I mean, that made it a little nervy. Yeah,
was Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that made it a little nervy. I was like, yo, I can't really, since I hadn't been on there so long, I was kind of afraid to like really wild out for fear of busting my ass in front of everyone. So I kind of took it slow, you know, slow movements, you know. Now looking back on the footage, I'm like, yo, dude, what were you thinking? So I got to get back into the flow, you know, of really bringing it like the way I used to bring it. Like I'm still bringing it vocally, but now I need to bring it physically. So, you know, that's on my plate right now, working on that.
So how was the idea brought up? Like, was it something that you guys have talked about for a little while, or did somebody just say, you know what, let's do this, and you were all in?
I mean, the opportunity presented itself. We got the info from Doc. Apparently, since Doc is active right now, I guess some promoter came to him or whatever and dropped some shit into his ear. So he brought it back to us, and you know, it made sense, and it's like, let's see if we can make it happen. So, you know, we exhausted all means possible to try and see if we could get it to do what we needed to do. We tried previously to that, but at the time, I was in school, deep in school. So I didn't want to take off time, and I had just reestablished myself in a new state, you know, and I was doing my own thing. So it just didn't seem like the right time, but it finally made itself available to be the right time. So we went for it, and then, you know, it went well, surprisingly, even though it was raining and everything. And then, you know, we just didn't want to do that one. So we caught the bug again. Once we started playing, we caught the bug.
Right. So, it's like nothing ever, you know, happened. Like you just pick up where you left off.
Yeah. You know, right now it's just the hardest part is just trying to work it into everyone's schedule so it works for everyone. So no one is overwhelmed in their own personal situation to, you know, get it disrupted. So, you know, when things work out, then we come to town. If they don't, then we have to put a little pin in it until we're able to. So
I get that. So now you guys actually had 2 more shows after that in January of last year. So even though you guys went to, you know, Blue Ridge in 22, January of last year, you guys had 2 more shows that were booked for you. Did you have that planned from when Blue Ridge happened, or since Blue Ridge, you guys just were like, okay, screw it?
Well, from Blue Ridge moving forward, we tried to figure out the best time to make it happen. And, you know, at that point in time, it was just more about juggling schedules. Like, again, since other dudes are connected to other projects,
right?
You know, it's a matter of dipping in and out between their windows,
right?
So you know, initially we were trying to do it around Christmas time, you know, but it didn't work out, so we had to rely on a little bit after Christmas. So, but yeah, we were able to get the schedules planned and firmed, and you know, everyone was available, so we went for it and we shot. We did some shows at Starland, and then we did a show at Worcester at the Palladium.
So yeah, and that was in the same month, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was back-to-back Friday, Saturday show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went back to back after 10 years. Did that beat the shit out of you?
Actually, no, it wasn't that bad.
That's good.
You know, like, surprisingly, my voice has held up over the years, and it's actually a lot stronger than it was back then.
That's good.
But you know, just the mental toll started to wear. You know, just being in confinement, close areas again was like, oh, flashbacks. Since like now at this point, like we live so far from each other that we really don't see each other that much. So when we get together, like the good and the bad somewhat pokes his head out, but it's all been good. So, it's good to reconnect with everybody, and now with everybody on different levels, it turns more into like funny buffoonery sometimes. Like now we can really chop it up and just get under each other's skin, but more of in a fun way instead of like a malice way. But it's cool. It's a good time. Yeah.
So now, I mean, like we said, you were gone almost 10 years. Now you said you were just starting to do other things when the idea was brought back. Mm-hmm. So you've been keeping your voice up the whole time and you just learned to strengthen it as time went on, or?
No. No, I
just had a break and you got your voice back.
Well, I was in school. I started working. I started doing that thing. And then, like once once we solidified that we were going to do Blue Ridge, I was like, all right. So I just basically went and cut some vocals in my room, just singing along to the tracks. And then from there, it just, I guess I like just switched the key, man. The animal just woke back up. Once the music started playing, the animal just woke up and he was just more ferocious. Beast. Yeah, it's just
fuck yeah.
So, once the music comes in, it's just like it takes me to a place and it takes over everything. So yeah, like in that aspect, like the monster is still brewing.
That's awesome. I mean, a lot of people were like stoked to see that you were back, and stuff like that. But at the same time, Doc also did say that this is not a full-time thing.
No, it can't be. It can't be for none of us at all. You know what I mean? Right. We each have our own personal lives, and we're pursuing things that are very important to us individually. Right. And again, those dudes are in other bands, which is their number one focus. So it can't be full-time. So it has to be when it makes sense for the collective. We've had to pass on a couple of offers that just came recently because it doesn't work for everyone. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, this is basically, the ending of, that whole free spirit of like, drop everything you're doing and just go pursue the music. Like, that just that's not a reality for me or any of other members in the band per se. You know what I mean? When it comes to trying to rekindle, unfortunately. But I mean, that's the cards we're dealt. We make it work the best we can and do what we can when we can.
Well, I mean, I get it. It makes sense though. I mean, 10 years, it's a long time. If it's like a year or two, you make my adjustments, but 10 years is literally, you completely readjust your life at that point. Your life has been realigned in a different direction. Totally. And it's, I get it. It makes sense.
And plus being that we're not on any type of label and everything that we do is self-funding, like we have to be smart about how we try and move the machine forward because we don't have a physical machine apparatus to help us, when it comes to promoting or travel or any of these things. So we have to start up all over again. And fortunate for us, some of our old contacts are still in the game, but like the cost has changed. You know what I mean? Everything gets more expensive as time goes forward. Yeah. So it has to make sense financially. As much as we love doing it, like I can't, in my position, speaking for myself, I can't leave, my constant paycheck for $3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's layman terms. Like I need to be able to support my family no matter what I'm doing. So if it doesn't financially make sense and I'm like going in the red to make something happen, I mean, is it really worth it for me to do that? And it's not.
Right.
Too much personal responsibilities to deal with.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's not cheap to get to a lot of these places, especially when you're self-funding yourself. It's like, you got the band can worry about shit together when they get together, but you still got to get your ass there. You still got to feed like everything.
Yeah. And while I'm gone, the bills, the bills are still coming in while I'm gone. So, like those things take precedent. But I mean, it's a long way away from, just being a kid living in your parents' basement trying to make it happen as opposed to a functioning adult, with mortgages and, car payments and all the other things that everyone else has. So,
right.
But like I said, we make it happen when it makes sense and when, everyone is able to be together and make it happen. So,
right. That's, that's awesome though. So you guys have had a couple of shows that you've put back on your belt. Do you have anything planned? I mean, I'm jumping ahead, but is there still hope that you might make appearances here and there?
Well, after the last 2 shows we played, we ended up doing Lamb of God's Headbangers Boat. So,
that's right. You did do that. That's right.
Yeah, we did that run. And then we met some cooler young bands that were out, Bleed Within, Gate Creeper. Damn it. Like, I hate when I forget bands' names.
Yeah, I forget everything. Don't worry about it.
There was another young band that was on there that was awesome. And then, Fit for an Autopsy as well was on there. So we met a couple of the younger bands that are, pushing the flag forward.
Right.
Dying Wish. It was a good time. Then we had our buddies there. Lamb of God was there. Hatebreed was there. I mean, we kind of stepped back in, and then we were there, and it was pretty awesome. To get back into the groove. What's that?
How many things have changed from the scene?
Other than gear, some of the people are still the same. The crowd has gotten a little bit older, but I mean, that's obvious because it's like 20 years later, but they're still loving the music. The amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? The amount of fan beating has changed a lot as far as like, the drunkards who are all up in your face.
Yeah, they're still there. It's just far and few now.
Yeah. So, I mean, that aspect has changed. But, I mean, the love for the music is still there. People are ready for it. They love it. They're enjoying it. Obviously, the thing that's changed as well is that the people coming to the shows now have money because they're functioning adults now instead of teenagers, getting a couple of dollars from their friends. So, that aspect has changed. But, I mean, overall, I mean, it still feels the same so long separated from the previous years, but it's still about the same. I mean, the music again has gotten a little bit heavier and crazier and sicker. The musicianship is way over the top now with a lot of the things that these cats are writing, which is awesome. Everyone's still pushing the needle, and actually now it seems like the heavier you are, the more accepted you are, which is pretty interesting in itself. You know what I mean? Like hearing heavy music on the radio is like, I always hope for it, but like you always had you're always the bands that will always get played on the radio, but now seeing these younger bands getting played on the radio that are just as heavy, if not heavier, it's pretty cool to see. So, I mean,
becoming more accepted.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The norm. Generation X has grown up.
Yeah, they've grown up and they've decided to do what a lot of us wanted to do, but we're kind of iffy on it. Like the whole cross molding of all genres, which is awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of technically new metal, but the new metal is like way like it used to be NU metal, now it's like NEW metal. And so it's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of bands, everyone wants to just establish their own sound now instead of being placed in 5 genres and say that's just what you are.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what new metal is pretty much represents. It's just like, dude, you're a bit of everything, You're just gonna fucking and just get on that stage and kill it one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool as long as you have like the pieces in place that can help you.
Yes.
Like as long as someone shares your vision, it'll always go well. But when people start to fall out with you or lose hope or trust in you, then that's when things start to fall apart. And you have to kind of reaffirm what you're trying to do, regardless of how they might feel about it.
Right. Yeah, so. It's very true. What was I going to say? See, I actually had like half my notes memorized and I lost my place now. What was I going to say? Oh, what about technology? How much has that changed in 10 years?
Oh, technology has driven the game to, easier. Dude, technology is crazy right now. The way that you can record at home and not have to worry about big budgets, and you're able to basically write the album in your house, do all
Right.
of it, and just, it's made it more cost efficient for musicians. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
now, as long as you can get some good sounds in your computer, you can send them to someone to mix it for you, because everything's done in the box now. So it's definitely driven down the price on that side for musicians. Unfortunately, because of that, it also hurts the industry people as well. Like, the studio guys and things like that. So they really have to be at the top of their game to like stand out, in the mix of things. But definitely with the technology, you don't really have to wait as long to get your new material out. You can just like throw
Yeah.
it up in the cloud somewhere and some people can hear it,
Exactly. And
Um,
promoting for yourselves are at a whole different level.
yeah,
You know, you don't. It's all the you save a lot of money by learning to do it yourself. Computers have come a long way. And
yeah, they're fast enough that you can actually do shit in real time. It's
yeah,
just for certain things, just certain avenues you need to check. Like as far as the older musicians, the only thing that you kind of got to worry about is someone trying to come after you for a contract that you might have been in the past, whatever. But don't want to speak on that too much because you never
yeah,
know how that
yeah,
gets turned around. But overall, I mean, it's definitely made music more viable to get it to the masses. But unfortunately, with that being said, there's so much music out there that it's really hard to get it heard unless your style, or you have to be gimmicky enough to get it across. You know what I mean? Like
right,
almost to the point where you got to go viral, or I don't know. It's a whole different ballpark, man. And not really being involved in it, it's kind of weird to see how things are, but it's kind of cool to see how things are at the same time. It's just a matter of learning how to navigate through it to make it make the most sense for you and your situation.
right, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's awesome that you guys were pretty much able to bring the band back together after 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy
But
that we were all alive. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
first
I
and
mean,
foremost, yes.
yeah, I mean, it's just like
But
20
yeah,
years is a long time, and like
yeah, a lot can
throughout the
happen in
years,
10 years, man. A
yeah, I've
lot.
seen a lot of people have gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, so it's just weird to be in that place now, and it's like to see certain bands keep carrying on after they've lost members or whatever, and just even just seeing people that you knew, like
mhm,
the amount of people that are no longer here anymore, it's just kind of like damn,
yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
it's just crazy, but I'm just happy that we were all in good enough health to get up there and be able to perform at a level which is it ain't necessarily a 10 yet, but we're
Mhm.
working on getting
Just
it.
under it, yeah. That's
Yeah,
close. Yeah,
and trying to get there. So we'll see, man. It's just
yeah.
time, patience, and just that drive, determination. Oh, you like that one, right?
Always, always.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
that's
so
what
I
we
mean,
do.
you guys began the hiatus. I mean, that's the best way to put it because you did come back
Yeah.
in 2013. Now, I know
Hmm.
some of it was because some of you were going different directions and whatnot. But was any of it did any of it have to do with any, from differences in creative thinking and what the goals were for the bands?
Um,
And
we
if is it
musically
going to be
we
a problem 10 years later now, or do you think it's set in stone?
musically we never had a problem. We were always our thing was not. It was always it's always been about the music for us.
Mhm.
Um, personalities, past whatever. It's always about the music. Like everyone can be the person they want to be, But when we get in the room, it's a collective thought on what the music is, and we work and strive to make sure that all five parties involved have some kind of say or understanding in what we're trying to do musically. Now, that being said, the pieces that you put around the five people, you know, will determine how well that five piece works.
Right.
So, I mean, we've never had a problem when it came to writing the music. We've just had more of an issue trying to deal with the business aspect of things because, you know, life is weird in the
Right.
sense that, you have these people that are supposed to be involved in the process with you, but at the end of the day, whether they make a good or bad decision, they really don't wear any brunt of their decision making. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, if it goes good, then it's good and everyone's happy. But when it goes bad, you know, the only people that are really off bad are the band members, and you know what I mean. So it's
Right.
like just trying to find people that collectively share your vision and want to help move you forward in the best way possible. And you know, I mean, we had Tricky in the band for a minute, so he helped us get through the process of losing Dallas with our last album, Equilibrium. You know, unfortunately, Tricky has moved on and doing other things, and I think he lives in another country somewhere. And you know, it was an amicable split, but it's God forbid it's gonna be God forbid, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely new music, so you know, we're just doing what we can.
Is there any plans on writing new music, or do you just
Oh
plan
yeah,
to?
no,
Yeah.
there's plans on writing new music, you know, but again, it's all about scheduling, you
Yeah.
know. So I mean, we'll definitely that's what the grace is with technology, because technology is so much easier. It's made it a lot easier to be able to write and do stuff on the go. So I mean,
Right.
that aspect of it is awesome. We don't necessarily need to get in a room together anymore to initiate writing. All we need to do is really get in the room to initiate the fine tuning of what we're writing.
Right.
So you know what I mean. But as long as everyone is down, then that's what we do. We keep writing. You know what I mean. I know Doc has expressed some interest. Corey has expressed some interest. Beaker's always down. I've expressed interest, so it's just a matter of going in the woodshed.
Right. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
So does everybody write the music?
We all come with ideas, and then certain members will work on structures and the framing. But yeah, I mean, we get together and we bounce ideas off each other. It's never not necessarily one person or another person. Like some ideas depends on what ideas are brought in. You know, we might refine that idea, or just start from that idea and move it forward. So I mean, it really depends on the notes that are strummed, so to speak. You know, that's the start off.
Do you have triggers that make you want to grab a pen and paper and start writing?
Oh, I'm always writing. That's always, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of, do I want to put this out and freaking have my whole life be blown up into pieces? Because I delve, I try not to be political, but you know.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. That's one of my questions. You know, go ahead. I'll let you finish though.
Well, I try not to be political, but I just try and write in a sense to try and wake people up to what's like happening, you know, around you. Like, I mean, I don't want to seem preachy or nothing, but like, it's just certain things that need to be resolved in order for Americans in the world to move forward. And I think they should be spoken on. Like, if you have a platform and you could do it in a way that you can convey a feeling that everyone can understand and get behind, I think that's the best way to do it.
Right.
Not to say that you can't have. I mean, music is expressional, and for me, that's how I am, man. Like, I see the bullshit and I want to call it out. You know what I mean? Plain and simple.
I know that completely. I go about it in a dick way, though. I don't scream about it. I just get in people's faces.
Well, I chose the screaming way because I didn't want to go to jail. Behind
I'm the
behaviors.
opposite. I need a vacation.
Yeah, I mean, like
I'm okay with going to jail for a bit. Wouldn't be a first, probably not a last.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, I just like, I don't know, like I just kind of feel, for me personally, in order to achieve the American dream, like I kind of got to be as squeaky clean as possible.
Right. But you know I mean, seriously, out of all respect, though, I mean, that's I was going to lead to that question because of based on the music from the bands, you know, the names of the albums. I mean, the music, a lot of what you preach, you know, I don't want, well, I'm going to say preach because it is preaching in your own aspect, but you're not like forcing your opinion on someone. You're just trying to wake people up.
Yeah.
Say, this is what is happening. Open your fucking eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
telling you to look left, then your ass needs to look right because that's what you need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's just like, that's for me. I think that's why, God forbid, is so relevant right now. It's because, like, like I stopped and just listened to what we've done, and like it's really weird that everything that we've ever written in the past is viable today in the present. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the album Constitution and Treason, you know, if you look at Earth's Blood, like these albums are
Yeah.
situations where at the time they seem like so far fetched, but like now, if you put it in relevance to what's going on today, it's like so
Right.
poignant.
You
So
know, and
I think
I
that's
was thinking
crazy.
that too, and I was like, dude, a lot of this shit, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
politics has always been, you know, and yeah, we're gonna slightly bring it up. We're not gonna pick sides. It's just a reality check. This is what this conversation is about.
Well, I
But
mean, there's
you know,
only two sides to the conversation. It's one, humans versus corporations.
yeah.
You know, that's what it boils down to.
Do you understand corporation? A lot
I
of people
understand
don't.
it. I understand them to a degree. I understand that, like, right
Dude,
now,
there's a lot of people don't realize, like our driver's license. A lot of people don't realize our driver's license is considered a corporation because it's all in capital letter. Yes,
yeah.
I went public with that. And people, I'm not suicidal. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's a
it's a
bad
big thing.
situation. Yeah, you know, and that it starts there. You know what I mean? Obviously, the government, you know, in its beginning was meant to be less intrusive and allow people, you know, I guess the coverage to do what they needed to do and survive. But now it's just become a greedy machine that needs to be revamped.
No, no, you know, they try to push racism, but there's only one color.
Yeah,
Green,
human.
green,
Well,
green.
yeah, green runs everything.
Green's the
But
only
soon,
color.
well, that's
And
only right now while there's physical cash. If they move to this crypto thing, this
yeah,
online currency, then we're totally screwed. But you know,
right.
I mean, it's not trying to be all extra over the top with it, but like this is just the reality that I see on a daily basis, like others
Right.
see on a daily basis. You know, it's
Yeah.
just, you know, a lot of this stuff out here is meant to like keep you blind or, you know, overwhelmed with the craziness. But like when you, at the end of the day, like my most important thing is to ensure that
Mhm.
my kids and my friends' kids have a future, you know, like
Exactly.
something like I don't want them to be like one day to be like having this conversation and be like, yeah, I remember when you used to could do this, or you could go here and now you can't go anywhere. You know, it's kind of like
Yeah.
when they tried to force that whole stuff on you, you know, you have to take it or you can't leave the house. Like we're not going to go about that conversation, but you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know,
I know
live
exactly what
free.
you're talking about. But
Yeah.
so I mean, that's I was going to lead to that because you know a lot of your music, you know, it does portray that. I mean, the names of the albums. I mean, it's all right fucking there. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, hello, Constitution of Reason. You
Yeah.
know, right there. If you really don't know nothing about politics, then shut your mouth.
Yeah.
You know, do some research. But no, I mean, you guys got some very powerful, you know, music and lyrics that you know people sometimes you know they're just screaming it out, thinking they're jamming out. It's like, dude, pay attention.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, it is for everyone to, you know, like at some point, people are just going to wake up for themselves. And when you start to go through hardships, that's when you start to realize what's really going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it takes more people to go through hardship to really catch a grasp of what it really is.
Absolutely.
But,
you don't know what people are going through until life kicks you in the cunt.
Nah, exactly. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is.
And it sucks because some people just, you know, constantly fight and try to get back up and they just keep getting knocked the fuck down.
But those are the real people though, you know, like you can't give up. It's no matter what, you have to go for what you want because, you know, especially now, like no one's going to hand anything to you. So you're going to have to earn it on your own, you know, however you have to do it, you're going to have to do it, you know, to survive. So.
Absolutely. So you have been writing though, going back to that.
Yeah, I've been writing. I've got a bunch of stuff down. I just need some music. You know, that's all I'm waiting for. So dudes need to just free up, you know, and send, even if it's like a rough skeleton, like, you know, I need to hear some music. Like, but that's the thing. Like lately, like a lot of the new bands that are out there have been like really driving me to like, they've excited me, you know what I mean? And it's pretty cool because for a long time, I kind of just put the music down because I got burnt out on it and it made me feel some type of way. So I kind of deserted the music and, I never wanted to do anything for music. That's why I didn't do anything. Well, I never wanted to do anything for money. That's why I stopped doing music when we took our hiatus, because anything after that would have been just for a bag. And it wasn't about that. Like, I need to keep the music pure. So,
Mhm.
I had to fall back in love with music. The industry almost destroyed me to the point where I didn't want to deal with it at all. So I had to remember why we did what we did musically.
Right.
So,
So, speaking for the future, then, based on, like you just said, how the music scene helped destroy you and bring you down, bring you
mhm.
to a place you probably didn't want to go.
Yeah,
And sometimes it does do that. It can fuck with your head. I can imagine what you guys went through at your level.
yeah. I mean, it was a clawing and scratching, man, all the way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I mean, someone's got to go through the fence first. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it wasn't for our predecessors, like In Living Color, Bad Brains. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's evolution. You know what I mean? Like, because of us, we open the doors for other people to try and get into the scene, and they've done great things. So I mean, there's always gonna be, it is what it is. Everyone has their go-tos that like inspired in, and for me, I'm happy that even if we never got as far as we wanted to, we inspired the next generation. So
Absolutely.
that works for me. You know what I mean? Because the love of
So,
the music and the purity is still there.
so do you think that you guys didn't reach some of the goals that you had aspects and hope for, back then? Did you guys?
Uh, I mean, we did to a degree, but we didn't really, in my opinion, get to where I wanted us to be and where the other guys wanted to be at. But you know what I mean? It's like there's no point in crying over spilled milk. You know what I mean? That was
Well,
like
right. What's the
10,
past is
10
the
years ago.
past, but you
Yeah,
can learn from the past, which is the
yeah,
most important.
yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, like, I think we've learned to be able to be cool with just saying no.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, no.
Yeah.
Before it was made to feel like, well, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's like,
Pressure. Everything's about pressure. Yeah.
yeah. So like now, that's why I think we're in a better place together now, because we don't have a problem saying no. If it doesn't work
Right.
for us, then it's just no. You
Yeah.
know what I
No, that
mean?
helps too.
Yeah. You know?
You learn more. You put your foot down a hell of a lot more. You don't let
Yeah.
people step on you anymore. It's like, dude, you know what? Step back. Step back.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to say no. Like, for a
Yeah.
long time, people made it feel like you can't say no. But,
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, it's all about making sure you're mentally and physically of sound mind when you
Right.
make some of these life-changing decisions and choices, because they are life-changing, and you know what I mean, they can, one way or another, propel you in a direction you do or do not want to go into. So you
Right.
need to do what's best for you at the end of the day, because no one's going to have your best interests at heart other than you. So
Absolutely.
you got to do that.
So, do you have any new goals, maybe that you have set that you're reaching for?
Musically, like,
Yes.
at this point, I just want to keep melting motherfuckers' faces, Like, when I hit the stage, I just want motherfuckers' jaws to drop and be like,
You want the jaws to drop and their asses to bounce.
yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
I just want to show people that just because we left out of choice. Like, not, you know what I mean? Like, we left
Right.
because we wanted to leave, like, not because we were forced out or anything.
Yeah. You
It's
didn't
like,
have to. You chose to.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
the beast is still there, you know what I mean? And, that's the most important thing I try and, come across at every performance that we have, even if I'm not, losing my mind like my predecessors or my fellow musicians that are from present to current. Like
Right.
when I get up there, I stand and deliver. You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing. And I think people can feel that when they see the live show.
Right.
So I mean, that's the most important thing for me, because I appreciate the fact that even after all this time being gone, there's people out there that still want to see it. So like,
Absolutely.
I want to make sure that they have a great time. And then after that, like, just the fact that, like, some of the people that, like, it's weird. I went out of town for work. I had to go to Puerto Rico for like 2 weeks for work. And I was out there and I was like texting with C Money, my drummer, Corey. And he sent me a picture. He's like, yo, this kid is in the military now. And he sent me a picture of this kid I took a picture with when he was like 7 years old, and now he's like in the military overseas in freaking Afghanistan or Iraq. And like his father got in touch with us and it was like, yo, So I sent them a message, and it was just like so real to see this young kid that was coming to our shows is now like a full grown man in the U.S. military overseas serving the country. And like I don't know, it like really hit me, like we had an effect on people to a degree, and it's
Right.
awesome, just to see those people from that time be the people they are now. So
Right.
I think that's awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, to see them grow up,
Yeah.
it's like, Jesus Christ, I remember when you were this tall,
Yeah.
and here you are fighting
Yeah.
our wars,
Yeah.
defending our country and other countries.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. So based on that, you said you've been writing new music. How many songs? Do you mind if I pry a little bit? I'm gonna get a little personal.
I mean, there's no full song. Well, I have tons of lyrics, but I can't say how many songs we have because again, I'm still waiting on skeletons.
Right.
So I can't say, but I mean, I want to say anywhere from, an EP to a full length.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we originally, I wanted to do a double album on the last one, Equilibrium, and we never got to do that. So, I mean, I had a concept idea that we never finished, but I mean, I don't know. We just gonna take it day by day, man. Like, there's no rush.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're not under any kind of obligation to anyone other than
You're just
ourselves.
riding that wave.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna come out at some point. It's gonna be amazing, or it won't come out. So just know that whole God forbid, vibe is still present. Like we don't put out shit music. We've never done that, and we're not gonna start doing that now. So don't worry. When it finally comes out, you're gonna be like, oh shit. So
right. So so you guys occasionally might be popping in here and there. Before you guys, broke up for that temporary period, did you have any songs that ever made it to album or to any EPs, compilations, or anything?
I mean, we had some stuff. We had a ton of stuff. But we just, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that, like, we had stuff that we never finished. We had stuff that we started. We had some stuff that were saved for imports and stuff like that. But like, I mean, God forbid, man, we just write. We just do a lot. So it's, who knows what you're gonna hear. I mean, there's a decent amount of stuff out there, and then plus people move and things like that. So some stuff gets lost, but I mean, there's a hard drive or two somewhere.
For those who don't know what hard drive is.
Yeah. So there's stuff out there.
So what about the idea of a possible new album? Pulling some of those old songs, maybe slapping some new ones on there?
I mean,
is it a possibility?
I mean, anything's possible. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of timing. And, again, like it's got to go through the God forbid woodshed. Just because it was written then or now, like it has to make sense when we get in the room together.
Right.
So if it don't sound good in the room, it's not gonna make the cut. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is. So
yeah.
I mean, that's the philosophy has never changed. Like even though everyone has gone their separate ways, the pride in which we take God forbid music is still there. And we're not gonna diminish on that pride whatsoever just to put something out there. Like I'd rather people go back and listen to the old catalog than to put out some crap.
Absolutely. I mean, they gotta know who you are to begin with and where you started. I'm a firm believer in a lot of bands like that. I mean, there's still a lot of bands out there. I'm still learning. Everyone's like, how the fuck? And I'm like, it happens, asshole. I don't know every band that's out there. So it's like I'll hear what's new now, what just came out, and then all right, what did they like from the past? No, I don't remember every song and every album. My memory sucks. It's aging bullshit.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's the food we eat. Processed food definitely messes up your mind.
Yeah, everything does one way or another.
Yeah.
Plus 30 years of damage. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to recover now that I'm getting older. I'm trying to save my grace before I lose it,
Yeah, I feel you on that one, man. I fucking feel that shit, man. Every day I'm like waking up sore and shit. So,
Yeah,
but it's the life we chose, man. If you would have told
absolutely.
me, if you would have told me this 20 years ago, I still wouldn't fucking done what I did because I didn't give a shit. Now that I'm older, I care a little bit more just because I
Yeah,
have people that depend on me on a
absolutely.
personal level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I pray for them too. If it's like, if I'm all you've got, no, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Well, I'm raising him the right way and making him question certain things so he can be ready to take care of himself when I'm no longer here.
Yeah. My mom always gave me shit raising my daughters. I have 2 daughters. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 5 years in age, but look who her mom is.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and my mom's the opposite. She's that quiet little Italian, that mom she's short, she's small, she's non-confrontational. Then she has a beast mode daughter like me at 5'7". I'm a big girl. I'm confrontational. I'm basically my dad with tits. So then I go and have 2 daughters, and she's like, raise them like little girls. I'm like, I am, but they're also going to learn young that shit out there is fucked up, and they're going to learn now. That way, it doesn't kick them in their ass when they're by themselves.
Yeah. The world has changed a lot in the time that we've been here. You
cannot sugarcoat life anymore, and that's what they're trying to do.
And
I think that's a big, big mistake.
Yeah, it's time to stop with the participation trophies.
Yeah, right. It's earn your shit.
Yeah.
Learn to cry. You want to, if you don't want to lose.
Yeah.
Do something about it. Simple as that. Or learn from it, or don't, and stay. You decide. So, that's not fucking child abuse and shit like that. It's teaching your kids to grow the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of whiners right now. That's why we got these issues that we have. There's a bunch of whining with no solutions. They just want to whine.
So and then the fact that 20 years ago, people were more stronger minded, and no offense to the younger generation, we were just more hard headed, I guess you could say. That's another way.
Well, I just think we did it. I think we did it. Yeah, I think we just made their lives so easy. The younger generation, growing our children.
What we went through.
Yeah, but we should have let them go through some of the shit so they'd have a better
go ahead, stick that fork in that fucking electrical outlet. Go for it.
Yeah,
And I can do that again, right? No.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we learned. They're like, "Yo, don't touch the stove."
And then some of us were just like, "Oh, let's do it again."
Yeah.
Now exactly. You're raising a psycho. It's like, okay, he didn't learn.
Well, you learn your pain threshold. You know what I mean? Right? It's always good to know what your pain threshold is, so you can push it a little further each time. But we understood that, like, they told you don't touch the stove because it's hot, and you touched it. So you knew this is what it was. So, you couldn't complain and cry like, well, I didn't know. It's like, well, you were told and then you felt it. So what you going to do about it? You going to touch it again or you're not? Some people decide to touch the stove again.
So. Yeah, that's the only way to learn. And you're going to fuck up. Do it again. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No? Good. Learn from it,
Yeah.
But unfortunately, and I do blame us partially as parents, from our generation. We didn't want our kids to grow up the way we did.
Yeah,
we so much left to fend for ourselves, and that's why we grew up the way we did.
Yeah,
and if we didn't, even if you did have your family, a lot of us got our asses whooped. I'm not against this still.
I think it should be there.
You want to call it a spanking? I'm not talking about just beating the shit out of your kid. I'm talking your kid screws the fuck up and does something big. You crack that son of a bitch upside the head.
Well, I mean, the thing is this: it's just like if they don't understand what the consequences and repercussions are to their actions, then you end up with people who run out there and do crazy things, like shoot up stores.
And that's become a norm now, man. That's fucked up. When we had Columbine, what was that, 22 years ago?
Yeah.
That fucked up the country. And now you hear it and everyone's just like, what else is new?
Well, it seems like it happens every day.
We are brushing it off now because it's become normal. That's not right. That's not something that should be normal.
Yeah, but most of those kids are those kids that needed fucking get their ass whooped when they fucked up as little children.
Those are the ones that their moms and dads didn't want to do it, and probably their parents were holier than thou. I'm just saying, yes, they went there. Yeah. And sometimes those are the kids. Yeah,
we build our monsters.
Yeah, and we're half of us are to blame. So I think these younger kids that are like in Chicago. I don't know if you've seen the news, but with Chicago, it's like becoming a normal thing for the teenagers to run through the fucking city when it's nice out and start destroying shit, and they'll do it in the hundreds.
Well,
and now everyone's just kind of, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Attack those motherfuckers. There's a lot more people on that street than 300 teenagers.
Well,
you know,
I think,
I
had to blame the government on that aspect, because
Same.
I just think that like those kids are just acting out because they have nothing else to do.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And they also know that they're going to get away with it a lot more because the way shit is now.
Well, I mean, that's the problem, though. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's a disgusting situation that needs some resolution, but I think a lot of it has to do with in-house, and you know, everything needs to be restructured, because a lot of these kids, man, like they got skills on one level or another, but they have nothing to do.
They don't know how to contain their rage.
Well, I mean,
I
mean, they just gotta find a way to get it out there in a positive manner. Hence,
right? And it goes back to like what you were saying earlier. Earlier you were saying that music has gotten heavier and it's more accepted and more normal on FM radio stations now, and this and that.
Yeah.
And it's like these kids, the next generation, they're softer, but yet they're playing harder.
Yeah.
I would like to, and that's why I love asking them, what inspires you? How do you, it's like, because some of them come off as like the boy next door type. And they're the ones fucking destroying the stage, like getting angry and shit. It's like, dude, tell me about you. Tell me about, I want to become a fucking psychiatrist. I don't want to be an interviewer anymore. I want to be a psychiatrist. Tell me about your mother.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know, it's the new generation. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean?
What about an idea? I mean, obviously, with, God forbid you guys are going to be making your appearances, which is actually really smart. Because as you know, there are a lot of bands that will only come around, even if they're from the States, they'll only come around once or twice a year instead of touring consistently all the fucking time, where then people are just like, oh, I'll catch them in a month or two, 3 hours down the road. It gives people something to look forward to. Be like, dude, they only come by once a year in this area. Fuck yeah, I'm going to go,
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, you have to make it worth a person's it's got to be worth it for people to come out the house. I mean, it's just with the cost of living and, you know what I mean? Like the frequency at which things, are constantly changing. Like it has to be a big deal when people come out the house, like I had went to a show not too long ago, and, the show was pretty cool. But like, people trying to charge $40, $50 for a t-shirt, and it's like, damn, like the ticket was like $35, what have you, and then you still want to drink something. So it's like,
and the drinks are like $20 for a 16-ounce fucking beer.
Yeah, I mean, it turns into an event, so you got to kind of make it worth it for them.
It's expensive.
Then, so I mean,
I speak shots at me. I'm saying this live. Those mini little fucking shooters and shit.
Yeah.
They don't go off in alarm systems because it's got an aluminum cap. I'll wrap my shit in my bra. But mini shots all over the place.
I mean, luckily you could do that, but I mean, I don't know. I just think that, you got to give people more for their money. You have to make it feel special. And, it's just that thing, which is cool. I'm just happy that in my life right now, like I don't have to depend on music to make sure that I can pay my bills. So that's what makes it more freeing to want to do it again, because it's not an issue. It's not about money for me. It's about, playing and seeing the reactions on people's faces, and, just running into someone that was like, oh, last time I saw you, I was 13 years old at your show. And now they're like full grown, or, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I met my wife at your show or whatever, it's just, it's just the memories that it brings back, you know what I mean? Or just like, I saw you at this festival, you're walking around, you took your time out just to say hello, and you stopped and talked to me, and you didn't act like you were holier than now. And, it's just people being people in public areas. Real. Yeah. And just having fun with each other, which that's what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if people don't buy your product that you're putting out there, then you don't exist, and it's fucked up that it turns into like that kind of transaction. But like without the fans, the band is nothing, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So some people kind of forget that shit and, try and turn to some other shit, but it's just about the music and, the whole get together vibe. So that's that's what I focus on. That's what most of the dudes in the band focus on when we get out there and we do our thing. You know, it's always been about the music. It'll always be about the music, and
Yeah,
that's
first and
never going to
foremost.
change. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like we'll fade away before it becomes anything other than just being about the music.
Right. All right. So, all right. So I had like 20 people that tell me to ask this. I know it's Mother's Day and a lot of people are out with their family. So I'll just be, it's not too often I reshare the link afterward, but on
Hmm.
holidays I always do because I know people are busy. So it's totally cool. And
Hmm.
I saw my daughter last night. So I'm open for Mother's Day. But, the idea now, you said, if things work out like with Doc's schedule, of course, with him being involved with his other project,
Hmm.
and everyone's personal lives and shit, everyone come together. One-offs are still possible though. If everyone's schedule collaborates, you will occasionally do a one-off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we will. Uh, you know, uh, but again, they have to be really planned out. And I don't have a problem doing one off. All I'm saying is this. I'm gonna just say this straight because, a lot of motherfuckers be talking that shit. Oh, we want you back. We need you. We miss the band and all that kind of stuff. And then we come and play the show, and motherfuckers don't show up, man. Like
Yeah,
I
a
don't
lot of
be
people say
believing that
that
shit.
too. A
Yeah,
lot of people
and
say that, and they're just like, "Oh, well,
yeah, that's that
this or that
bullshit.
come up." And
Yeah,
then you got invites, and people are like, "Oh, I want to make it look good," so I said I'm going to be there. I'm like, "No, now you make us look like an asshole." If
yeah,
it's like 50 more than it should have been, and it
yeah.
shows us like, "No, don't do that."
So, but I mean, like, yeah, I mean, we again, man, we love to play, man, but again, in this climate, it has to financially, you know, and it ain't even about making money. It's about breaking even.
Yeah,
Whatever you put out, you get back and you're good. Like that's,
right,
you know what I mean?
right,
Especially considering it's self-run and,
yeah,
and me personally understanding that other people could be doing other things. I want to make sure that it's worth it for them.
right.
So that's what we do. And I see this come to Chicago and
Yeah, yeah, that's what a lot of people because
I mean, we want to
there's
get
a lot
back
of
to
booking agents
Chicago.
here. There's a lot of
I mean,
agents here, and I'm a booking agent too. I
I
do
mean,
girls
we
and
started
shows.
out in Chicago,
Yeah.
like when we were cutting our bones in the hardcore scene, playing the VFW halls. We drove out to the VFW halls in Chicago. Our friend Shane. I don't know if he's an agent anymore, but he used to bring us out to Chicago, and we'd be
Mhm.
right on the outskirts, and we play some VFW halls there. You know what I mean? Like we don't have a problem going and playing a show anywhere. All we ask is that for all those people in that area that are talking that jib jab about, yo, they never come here. When we do come, just make sure that your face is there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's worth it for us to come out there. Like we can't be doing all this and 20 people show up. Like, yo, dude, really? You know?
Executionary says that Shane is with Empire Booking still.
Oh
I
yeah?
think I know who you're talking about because I know a couple Shanes. I think I
Yeah.
know. Don't ask me last names.
Well, he
But
used to
I
work
know
for
from Wisconsin though.
he used to work for Digger back in the day.
For who?
Digger.
Oh, okay.
So it's that Shane. I don't know if Digger's
Yeah, I
still
don't think it's
alive
the
at
same
this
Shane.
point.
Yeah, it's not the same Shane.
But yeah, but
So
I
yeah,
can't
so
think of his last
Chicago
name.
wants Chicago.
I mean, we'd love to come
On the
back,
back.
man.
I could set something up. Just
Well, I mean, we have to. Again, it depends. We got to work it
right.
out
I
with the
mean, yeah,
schedule.
schedules, everything. So what do you for something like this? Do you think like a 6 to 9 month advancement you would need for notice? A lot
I
of
mean,
venues don't book that far ahead.
I would say, see, this is the problem that we've always run into
Mm-hmm.
when it came to touring. Like a lot of our shit for touring ended up being booked like 3 weeks out from us actually leaving tour. So we've
Oh
never
wow.
really had proper setup when it came to that. You know what I mean? So I think, like I said, man, a lot of our issues was more on the business side of things as opposed to the band itself. And I
Right.
might be speaking prematurely, but this is just fucking how I feel about the situation. I don't really give a fuck if people get mad at me or people that I know want to say something to me
Do
later.
you, man? Be real.
But the fact of the matter is that a lot of our shit was poorly planned, in my opinion. So it kind of fucking fucked us up. But yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, for us, I think we need like maybe like a 3 to 6 month window just to make sure that things are lined up properly
Which is
and
respectful. I
allow.
mean,
Yeah,
for
to allow for
multiple
people's
reasons.
schedules. Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, because right now at this, like I said, man, it's self funding. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, again, and it's not about making money; it's about breaking even.
Yeah.
So I mean
You need time to
that's
adapt. You got to situate your home life, make sure that
yeah,
shit's in check, figure
and
out
we
shit
got to
with
make sure
work,
we
and
have
then
people
collaborate
that
with fucking multiple members. So yeah.
yeah, and we need certain things in order to bring that stellar. Like we need a
Yeah.
sound guy. Like we're not going to come to town without a freaking sound guy. You know what I mean?
Now, are
And,
you one of
and
those bands where you have to have your own sound guy, or are you okay with the venue sound guy?
we need to have our own sound guy.
Yeah.
Because we need someone that knows how our band operates musically.
Which makes sense, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to be funny, but like we're a national act or were at a point in time. And the thing about national acts is you need consistency. You can't have consistency with a different sound guy every day.
Yeah.
You need someone that knows your sound, knows like the little quirks that each member might have, knows how to blend everything, and knows the music to the point where he can do extras or whatever. You know what I mean?
There's no hesitation. Like he can hit the
Yeah.
switches here and do another shit, getting that ready. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing you want is to have somebody go out there doing your sound and fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, they didn't take into effect this. Like at certain parts, somebody might hit harder on the drums, you know what I mean? And, if you don't know that, you might not gate the drums properly or whatever.
Right.
And, things like that, or guitar feedback, or running intros and then like having the intro stop mid intro because of something or another. So I mean, these things must be taken into consideration. And I'm sure you wouldn't have your favorite band like Slipknot or Lamb of God or Killswitch Engage go out and play for the house guy.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless the house guy is a touring, fucking sound guy that just he works that venue when he's not on tour. That's a totally different situation. But how often are you in that type of situation where you have a national touring sound guy that works at some little club in the heart of some little town in USA, America? You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of clubs have been, closing lately. So
I know.
It's hard to keep
one over here in Chicago suburbs.
Yeah, it's hard to keep the lights on.
Brower House is fucking like a huge staple in the Chicago suburb area, and that era ended.
Yeah,
that was fucked up in itself, but it is,
but that's what it is.
It's becoming harder and harder for the thrash and heavier. It's when you're on the more extreme side, there's not a lot of places that want to play. You got a lot of these people who have clubs, venues, bars. They don't want to go past that hard rock scene.
Well, they're afraid. They're afraid that the place is
and they're just like, people, run in circles.
Yeah. But I mean, they just got to understand.
That's about it. That's like cats chasing their tail. They're not going to get far.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to understand that, that's people choose the way they like to vent their energies.
And it sucks. It hurts the scene because it limits how many options there are to book you.
Yeah.
When you're on the extreme side, and it's like, dude, there is a, it's a smaller scene. Then thrash is like that in between. A lot of people are cool with thrash, but then once you start getting some of the thrash blends in to a lot with the black and death, and that's where the it gets a little harsher, and the crowd gets a little bit smaller, for the heavier shit, but it's still growing. It's becoming more acceptable now.
Well, it's only going to be able to
blends in with everything now.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to be as available as the areas that are available to portray it or to show it. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have like if there's like a black metal band that only brings in 100 to 150 people to play their show, you know what I mean, that are actually going to love their show, like it's going to be impossible for them to get into a venue that is like like a 500 cap room or whatever, or 1,000 cap. If there's no venues, like certain venue sizes are needed, and it helps promote the scene to grow because
and the venues need to promote, because there's a lot of people who are like middle bookers like me. I'm a middleman, if it's not their show, they don't promote it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're a dick. And I'm saying that, it's like, dude, it's like, we're bringing money too. I mean, we're not getting paid a whole lot more than the bands are to be pulling us off. It's like, this is something that we do because we love the scene.
Yeah.
We know the smaller local scene, and we're going to put the ones on stage that we think need to be heard about.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I always wanted to.
Bars and the venues are screwing us in the process too, but then we're the ones that look like the bad guy to the bands because we're the ones reaching out to the bands. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough nut. It's a tough nut to crack. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like having. It's important to have multiple venues in your town to keep a scene or to create a scene or to keep it going, because it'll show, you know, that people want to be there. And, you know, like it just happens. Like for us, like we had a couple places that were awesome. They were small as fuck, but they were awesome. Like Plum Street Pub, you know, we had the Melody Bar, and then we had like Club Chrome, and then we had freaking Birch Hill. And then after we lost Birch Hill, we got Starland. So we always had venues, like, and we kind of kept moving it up. And, you know, just having those, we got Stone Pony. I forgot, you know, there's a lot of spots, man, that are just like hole in the walls, but they're so awesome because it brings that energy.
And, you know, and a good booking agent and promoter, when, you know, even if they do bring a band, they can only bring in like 150, and you have, let's say you have a small venue of, let's say 400 or 500.
Yeah,
you can do more with that if the right person is booking the show. If they know that band, that headliner is going to bring in 100, 150, your co-headliner, your strong support is going to be your solid backup. You know,
I mean, you just got to plan.
Unfortunately, this is where it's the catch-22 for the bands. Like I know bands all over the Midwest who are like, Fran, when are we playing one of your stages? And it's like I feel bad because it's like this is where I understand where the concept of, are you local?
Yeah,
you know, because it's like, I want to help you grow. But now I also want to make sure the show has bodies.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I feel bad. It's like I understand that concept, you know, booking agent, you know, and promoter, and where the venues are coming from. It's like it's not that we don't want to play you. We just want to make sure this is a great show.
Yeah.
And that's why we stay as local as possible, unless you're a big name.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's a growing process. It's a learning process. You know, it never ends, man. Live music is just one of those things that, as important as it is, a lot of people in this day and climate just don't really see the importance of it, because unless they can piggyback off of it and make money off of it, hence like, you know, charging X over, you know, everything, you know, just trying to bleed motherfuckers dry. Like it's just that thing, man. Like you get some good people in a bad situation, or some bad people in a good situation, and it tends to fuck up everything. Greed is the killer of all, you know.
The unfortunate truth.
Yeah. So I mean, you just kind of gotta know that and work around it and try and plan for people's greediness. You know,
we're always gonna be fighting demons. It's not always our own.
Nah, definitely not. And usually, you know, you can handle your own demons, but the outside demons are the ones that really take it to the fucking to the top. So,
and they hate being called it, but gatekeepers.
Yeah. But I mean, it's everything has them.
Yeah, it's every city too. Everyone's always like, "Oh, my city." No, it's not just your city. It's
everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Every profession has a gatekeeper.
Yeah, it's everywhere. No, it doesn't matter what style and genre of music it is either. It's still there.
I mean,
so
it's just that thing.
Executioner TV has had this question up. I'm going to ask, how has the writing process been with Nick in the lineup?
Honestly, we haven't been writing anything per se with Nick yet. Nick is awesome. Like, if you go to Instagram, you see Nick Hippa's page, like, because he's got a band that he's doing right now, and I've been listening to his shit that he's been writing with that band, and that shit's like if he brings some of that style to the God forbid writing, you motherfuckers are in trouble. There's some serious trouble. But like, you know, I mean, again, we've been talking about it, and you know, if we do, I mean, I don't want to sound too prematurely, but if we do write music, I would definitely love to have Nick write music with us. You know, but again, like I'm the lyricist, yo. You know what I mean? That's what I do. So, I mean, I can strum a little something, but I mean, a lot of stuff that I might come up with might be like, just like budget. You know, DOC and Nick are fucking amazing guitar players. So I leave that to them, man. You know, I'll help with the structure. But, you know, I mean, we'll just have to see, man, you know, because like, again, like Nick is doing his own thing. So, I mean, it'd be an honor if he wrote with us, but like I don't know what his schedule's like. You
Yeah.
know, we never really talked about that, but I mean, it would be awesome if he did write with us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because
And
he has
Executioner,
that
you weren't.
skill.
I know you weren't on earlier, but we were actually talking about their and if they've been writing during this time, and he is teasing us a little bit, but it's nothing's written in stone per se on what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah, I mean, we there's always music again, like you know what I mean. Like we wrote and overwrote for a long time, you know, and then throughout that time, people have moved, and you know, there's hard drives that had material that got started, you know, that needed to be finished and things like that. So, you know, obviously, if it sounds dated, we're not going to use it. We might revamp it, but you know, again, like God forbid, we take pride in what we do and who we are, so we're not going to put out no garbage. So,
Right.
I mean, you don't have to worry about that when it comes to us. Like we have written 5 or 6 different albums and none of them sound the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're just continuations of our growth. So, you know, between 10-year gap, there's going to be a lot of growth in that.
Yeah. Well, like Executioner, I'm sure a lot of us are waiting to see how much more you guys are going to be teasing us. I think it's just the beginning. Even though it's been a year since you guys have hit the stage again. Do you guys have that itch?
Well, I mean, the last time we hit the stage was Halloween.
Or was it? Oh, that's right. Because the other, because the boat. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, you know, and you know, we got some stuff, you know, in the works, but like we really can't, you know, talk about it right now. But I mean, again, like
you don't want to get our hopes up, and you guys don't even know either. You know?
Well, I mean, we know, but we, you know, like we know what we're about to do, but we can't speak on it yet. But I mean,
and we're gonna be the last to know.
I mean, hey man,
it has to be that way.
We gotta have people intrigued. You know what I mean? Like we gotta, like me personally, like I want motherfuckers to come and fiend for the God forbid. So when it comes out, it's like, goddamn, that's right. Goddamn. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but you know, again, everything falls within the middle of other people doing whatever they're doing, you know, and unfortunately that is what it is. But I mean, we make the best of those situations. So if it's possible, then we come out. If not possible, then we'll figure it out and try and, you know, give you something until we can come out, you know, and
right.
You know, I mean, that's unfortunately that's just the way it's going to be, because like none of us are down to really tour like that.
Right.
That is not a feasible possibility unless, you know, the heavens opened up and God forbid went like fucking triple platinum, and then we got all these residual fucking royalties from past records or whatever, and then we have like, you know, money to actually function in that manner to do that type of thing. So, you know, somebody got to win the lottery.
Yeah.
We need to win the lottery.
Yeah.
And then, but, you know, I mean, we'll make it fun. And we always do. So.
And we're looking forward to it. And I'm glad you guys are dabbling in watercolors again and starting to tease us. I'm looking forward to more music, possibly.
Yeah, definitely.
Possibly. Some possible shows that are unmentioned per se, but things are in the works. So, dude, Byron, it was awesome catching up with you again. I know it's been a while since we've talked.
Well, thank you. Unfortunately, our buddy didn't show up, my guy. But
it's totally cool. I mean, it happens. It happens. I mean,
yeah,
we have plenty to talk about and more, just in case. I mean, I still got like another 2 pages of questions I didn't get to.
Well, I mean,
prepared.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
anything. In a year, I'm going to come back and I got more questions.
Definitely, there's going to be a lot of growth coming. So just be ready.
All right, so when you guys, you know, I know you're not going to remember to tag me, but we're all going to be definitely keeping our eyes open and looking forward to talking to you again, and maybe meet some of the other guys next time and hearing from you soon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, it's hard getting us all on the same page, man. Like, it's like even like we have to do this method for like freaking band calls and shit, like Zoom calls.
No, it's totally cool.
You know what I mean? But we're working on it, and you know, for us, again, it's always been about the music. It'll always be about the music, and you know, we'll move forward as it makes sense. And you know, that's the best I could say. Just because, like, I don't want to have people thinking like, yeah, we're coming back for a full blown return.
Right.
You know, that's just not not feasible. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
it's not full time. It's just
yeah,
occasional
it's
appearances when everyone has time with their new lives.
it's a party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we want to party with you guys, we come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And of course, Chicago is anxiously waiting.
I'm trying to get back to Chicago, man. It's been a while. I need
Yeah.
to get some
Well,
freaking Chicago deep dish pizza too.
oh yeah, we can do some damage down here.
So, yeah, I definitely want to get back to Chicago.
Absolutely.
You know,
Again, Byron, thank you so much, man. You know, for those who maybe not know, God forbid, very well, if you don't know, you know, what's going on with them, Byron, where can they look you up? Any, like, for any merch, any details?
you can hit us up. God forbid, official Facebook page. You know, if you want a little history of the band, you can go on YouTube, and we got a little documentary from way back in the day called Rated R for Real.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a live video there from a live concert, as well as, like, you know, the band being the band. Like, our inspiration, one of our biggest inspirations was Pantera. You know what I mean? Obviously Metallica and Slayer. So
Yeah.
a lot of our stuff is in that thing. Oh, Meshuggah as well. Definitely Meshuggah in the Eye
Yeah.
and At the Gates. So, you know, that's who we were inspired by the most, among other things. But I mean, we're out there, man. Just look up God Forbid. There's some videos, new and old. But yeah, we're just ripping shit, man. It's all about the music.
Sounds good. Like, again, thank you again, and looking forward to it, man. Happy Mother's Day again to everyone out there. I know it's Mother's Day, and you know, I am gonna be replaying this out there because I know a lot of people are preoccupied right now.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day up above, here, there, wherever the fuck you are, and the mom dads.
Yep.
So happy Mother's Day to all of you and everything in between.
Definitely.
I'll go that direction too. I'll represent. So, dude, thank you so much, and looking forward to talking to you again.
All right, sounds good.
Beautiful Sunday.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.